So, this is going to be my review of Star Wars Tarkin. This is the Star Wars novel, one of the Star Wars novels that is officially in canon with what Disney's doing with Star Wars. It's also in canon with A New Dawn, which is the Rebels prequel, Lords of the Sith by Paul S. Kemp. I'm trying to think of the other ones that are now, like they're saying quote unquote is canon. Because they are very fickle, because some of the books that were considered legends, they're also counting in canon as well. And so, like the Plagueis novel, I think they are keeping the Plagueis novel in canon. But the ones that are like right on the money in canon are this one, New Dawn, Lords of the Sith, Lost Stars, and I think the Bloodlines novel coming out as well, and also Dark Disciple, which, shit. Anyway, so let's talk about Star Wars Tarkin now. This is written by James Luceno, who most of you guys would know best for doing such Star Wars novels as... he's been known to do such Star Wars novels as, of course, the Plagueis novel, which most of you guys know I frickin' love, the Darth Plagueis novel. He also has been known to do a lot of Star Wars novels. Labyrinth of Evil, or Labyrinth of Evil. I haven't read that one. Rise of Darth Vader. But yeah, he's been known clinically to do, mostly known for doing a lot of the villain novels centered in the Star Wars universe. Although I think he did start with the Millennium Falcon story, focusing on Han and Chewie. But from then, he's been mostly known to do just villain novels, and villain-centric novels for the most part. And this pretty much keeps up the tradition, honestly, of Tarkin. This follows the official in-canon backstory of Grand Moff Tarkin. You know, a character that, even though he didn't really have a big stay in New Hope, you could argue that he's just as big a villain as Vader, and just as much as a threat as Vader, even though he dies at the end of the film. You do see that... excuse me. That Tarkin is what made Tarkin into the person we see Peter Cushing playing as. Tarkin is this very interesting character, and James Luceno really takes these kind of ideas and just runs with them fully. The story follows around in two different kind of forms. In one form, it follows, like I said, Tarkin's backstory, but that's just a part of it. This also deals with Tarkin dealing with the construction of the Death Star, the project that the Emperor has secretly put him on. And it's kind of funny because how they explain how Tarkin got that job is very interesting, because it's so top secret that everyone thought that Tarkin did something to piss off Palpatine, who in canon Palpatine's first name, Sheev Palpatine. So yeah, Sheev Palpatine, the Emperor. Everyone just assumes that he said something that the Emperor didn't like and kicked him off to an outer rim planet to just do nothing, just get out of his hair. When in turn, Tarkin is in turn working on the Death Star. While this is going on, we also have the other storyline of Vader and Tarkin's first mission together, which is hunting down a rebel cell. They're not really a rebel cell. They're more like terrorists than rebels. And keep in mind, this is only a few years after, if I remember right, this is a few years after Revenge of the Sith. So yeah, the rebellion I don't even think the rebellion's been formed yet. It's just a bunch of little rebel cells that haven't been really unified, and everyone's just trying to hurt the Empire. And these guys are no different, really. These guys are not different at all, are none too different from that. And Tarkin is sent by Palpatine alongside Vader to hunt these rebels down, because they have stolen a very powerful weapon that could easily... It's pretty much a bioweapon, necessarily, and they're going to use it on Imperial targets. So, of course, the Emperor's like, you two, get him. And of course, Vader and Tarkin do not see eye to eye at all. And this kind of really forms the quote-unquote friendship between Vader and Tarkin. I wouldn't say... I think friendship's a little too far put, but it does focus on their partnership and why they are, I wouldn't say antagonistic towards one another, but they're, they can work together. They can work together easily between one another, as you saw in A New Hope, where Tarkin's the only person who has that kind of power over Vader to, stop him or talk to. The two of them could work together normally. The two of them could work together normally, and they're not trying to get each other's throat. It didn't really start in this novel. You see that these two are rival. Vader and Tarkin are rivals towards one another, and this explains. And this is the story of how that changed between them. It's James Luceno knows how to write these villains. He knows how to write Vader. He knows how to write Palpatine. I knew he could write Palpatine amazingly because, fucking the Darth Plagueis novel shows you how well he can write such an evil being as Palpatine. He does an amazing Tarkin. His dialogue is so fluid that I can honestly hear Peter Cushing's voice in my head. Like, I can almost hear that kind of dialogue being spoken by Peter Cushing in my mind. That is how good James Luceno is with this dialogue. Same thing with James Earl Jones as Vader. I could hear Vader's voice clearly in my head, just like how I could hear James Earl Jones almost saying this dialogue from Karen Gillan's Darth Vader novel. In that sense, I really do like this novel. The one thing about Tarkin's backstory, and I'm just going to spoil this, is that he like Palpatine in the Plagueis novel, have abusive fathers. And I'm just like, oh, god damn it, twice in a row. And I've seen this way too many times, the abusive parent for the villain, and I was kind of like, and it's not as like overblown as Palpatine is with his father Kaznia, but in here, his father is, Tarkin's father's an asshole, but it's more, I will say this, even though they do the whole asshole father storyline, as they do with a lot of villains, the thing is with Tarkin is that he thoroughly believes in the Empire and the galaxies, and he fully believes that if the galaxy continued with the Republic the way it was going, then it would have fallen apart. So he feels like the Empire is what the galaxy really needs more than a Republic. It needs that kind of just powerful drive behind it, and it really does show his kind of almost dogmatic fervor for the Empire, and it's more like a military standpoint. It really, and that's where it really comes from more, is that he's thinking like a soldier more than he is a, oh, daddy didn't love me. It's more like, no, I'm, that may have been part of my life, but that does not define me. This is what does. What I do here and what I do to save the Empire and keep it in check and keep the galaxy in check is what matters. So that's what I really like about this, is that even though they do play with that, Tarkin does say, that's not really who I am, so fuck you guys, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be building a Death Star. So I highly recommend this. If you really love Star Wars and really enjoy the character of Grand Moff Tarkin, I highly recommend reading this novel. It's nothing short of just amazing. But anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys later.